Alright, what is up everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster 2 in Midwest Adventure. Today we're going to wrap up the Mine Train Coaster and get a little bit of some of the pathing a little bit for the entrance and everything. Kind of situated, looking good, and everything like that. So we start this episode off by finishing up the station by doing the roof. Nothing too crazy here, just like a very generic wood or kind of like wooden station style with some of that metal roofing, which is some of my favorites to actually do, and getting this skeleton kind of in there, and then of course doing some of these extensions. This is one of the aquatic roofs. This is the one that has the rounded pieces and stuff, but they do have kind of a straight slope piece, which I don't remember it having, but apparently it does. So I decided to use it, and then of course we go in and get some supports going in here, get this really looking nice and neat. So yeah, I didn't want to spend too much. I wasn't going to spend too much time on this coaster in particular. It's just going to be a very generic kind of mine train coaster, a nice little family coaster. That way we have a good mix of family and thrill rides. So we do have 2 thrill coasters and 2 family coasters. So very nice to see. And yeah, again, like I said in the last episode, we're going to start wrapping up as much as we can in this project so I can get started on the big project that you guys have probably been waiting for a while now. And that is, of course, the Epic Universe inspired park, which I cannot wait to get into, by the way. I've just been kind of waiting for a few updates, I guess, to make sure I have everything I need, including like custom media, which is coming next month in the February update. So I'm very excited to get that custom media ready to go. And I was kind of hoping maybe for a scenario editor too, but I think we can wait on it, or I don't think we necessarily need the scenario editor, so I think I am going to be pretty much good to go to get started. And we'll have to wait and see kind of what that is, and especially like with, if it's anything like Planet Coaster 1, if we do get a scenario editor later on while I'm building it, we can always load it as a scenario editor as well. So that's going to be pretty cool if that does happen. So I'm pretty excited for that project, the Winland Adventure Resort. I can't wait to do it. We're going to have a water park, we're going to have the main park, and then we're going to have an expansion plot for future expansion as well, to potentially make a 3rd park for that project. So we're going to start out with just 2 parks for that, and yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to go as hard as I can on that project, and it's going to really test my building skills as much as they can, because I want it to be one of the coolest parks in the workshop, and hopefully I can stick with it and not rush anything. This park, Midwest Adventure, was kind of like, again, I'm sure you've heard me say it in the past, but this has been a testing ground park. It's not really planned, it's just for me to kind of test my building skills and kind of do new things that that I'm not usually been doing. So basically it's just kind of like that testing ground, like, oh, I have a quick idea, let's go ahead and build it and go from there, with not too much thought of like theming and stuff going into it as well. So for instance, this is the first time I ever did kind of like a switch track for the storage bay. So I've never really kind of done that before, and I was pretty proud of how this one turned out. So we have a little storage building right here for the second train, and you can see that I tried to make it look like it has a switch track for that storage bay, which turned out pretty good actually. So I was pretty happy with the results of that. And yeah, overall, I think for as fast as I put together this coaster, I think it turned out pretty good. So part of me did want to try and do custom supports for this ride and make it into more of an aero style coaster, but I decided to just keep it to like the Vekoma with the steel supports and everything like that. So I mean, I could have done wood supports, but I didn't want to really spend that much time, since I'm really trying to wrap up this project, because it's not really a major project that I've wanted to do. So like the Epic Universe inspired park is going to be my first actual big project that I'm really going to work on. So you'll see us kind of create this little entrance plaza for this ride, and I had to hide a lot of the building of the indoor log flume because it is kind of bare. So we do kind of hide it up with some like foliage and stuff, and I think it turned out pretty good. So as for this entrance plaza, it does look kind of rough at the beginning, I think, and it didn't look that great, but after we get a lot of scenery and stuff going into it, it actually ended up looking not too shabby. So I was a little worried at first that I was gonna like, I don't like this, but we ended up making it work after we got a lot of the scenery in there and got it going, and turned out somewhat decent. And then of course I needed to add like kind of a barrier at the end here, because this is kind of the end of the road, kind of the end of the path, which connects back going towards the front of the park. So we needed to make sure that we had some sort of wall or fencing here. So I wanted to put in a nice wall piece for this. And I like this wooden wall quite a bit, especially when you make it like a dark brown. I think it turns out, or it looks really, really nice for the most part. And as for like doing custom supports on the wood coaster, I don't think I'm going to actually finish that. I did like the main parts, but like, you know, like the low to ground parts, I probably could do it if I wanted to. Maybe if I have a lot of spare time potentially, but again, I want to get this park wrapped up, and I kind of got all of the stuff that I wanted to do for that wood coaster overall. And you know, custom supporting wood coasters like that is just so time consuming. And again, I know some of you might be like pulling your hair like, man, I can't believe he's kind of rushing through this to get it done. In a sense I am, but at the same time I'm like, trust me, you want me to get to this next project. The next project is going to, the actual main project, this isn't even a main, I wouldn't even consider this a main project. This is kind of like, just kind of like my pre-project, kind of like before I actually get and do the real thing, you know. And that was kind of the purpose of this park. It was kind of like a spontaneous park too. I wasn't like planning on making this a series originally. That's why I kind of was at the beginning, you know, you'd sometimes see footage, sometimes you wouldn't. It was just kind of me like messing around more than anything. And I ended up liking how the park was turning out quite a bit, so I did end up making it this kind of like series. Again, I probably won't have too many more episodes. We're just going to try and finish up a lot of the pathing and such like that, and it's just going to be what it is right now. So it's gonna be again, I have it on the workshop. If you haven't seen it already, I think I have the link in the description for the share code if you want. I need to update it. I think the last updated share code was like, or the last update for the workshop, I just had the start of the Mine Train coaster, so I'll try and keep that up to date as much as I can so you guys can check it out for yourselves in a sandbox setting, because this is in a franchise mode, but you can export it to sandbox, which is what I did for the workshop. So but anyways, we got our entrances here for the regular entrance and the priority entrance, and I'm gonna put like the entrance sign of the name of the ride at the beginning of that plaza, which we'll get into later. And then of course I needed to make some sort of visual for the switch track to make sure it looked like a switch track. So we do that here, and it turned out pretty good, so pretty excited, pretty happy with that. So again, that was my first time kind of doing that kind of switch track for something, which was pretty cool. And then I had to, of course, do something with these giant planter areas, which part of me wanted to fill in at first, but I didn't want the path to be that wide. So I decided to go ahead and just make them some nice big planters using these rocks pieces. And then I was like, okay, well, I can use one of these for the entrance sign for the ride, which is going to be the Runaway Ghost Train, which turned out really cool. So to create a nice little sign here, I think I put a little runaway cart at the top as well, to give it that nice little cool entrance area for the plaza, because it's actually a little bit of a hike to get back to that entrance. You know, I put the ride kind of pretty far away, so I had to get a lot of pathway here just to get it going. So but I made a little custom lamppost to place alongside the path here to make it lit up at night, so have some nice lighting at night. That's another thing I always try to do, is try and make sure we have plenty of lampposts, plenty of benches, and of course trash cans and everything to make sure that the park is as functional as it can possibly be for nighttime as well. So just a few theming elements here and there. It's, again, not extraordinarily themed by any means, but it's got some theming to it. And yeah, so it's just funny that's, that this coaster only took 2 episodes, and then for that dark ride it took, I don't even know how many, like 5 or 6. So you got all of that you have to worry about as well. But yeah, also in this we also build a building to kind of get us finished up here as well towards the end of this episode, and that is going to be a restroom building at the corner, because I want to make sure we have restrooms everywhere. That is good for our guests. But before that, we're going to build all this foliage and just kind of fill in the gaps, as I always call it, and get everything kind of situated here by filling in all of these planters. But yeah, the restroom building is what we do at the end of this episode. You'll see in a little bit. It's turned out pretty cool. I made it like a very nice little corner building, which we'll see. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty nice, like I would have to say. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how this last coaster turned out. This will be our last coaster of the series, and the last episode or 2, however many episodes it takes, is just going to be like finishing touches and such like that. And then we'll move on to the main event, which is Windland Adventure Resort, which is, again, if you guys didn't see me announce that, I announced that before Planet Coaster 2 even came out. I've been planning that park, and this is going to be it's going to be my first officially planned park, so I'm very, very excited for that. But you can see from the front view here that it turned out pretty good, and then I added some like ambient music for the area, which you can't hear obviously here, but like I added some like creepy music. It was actually like from the Legacy, for I guess it was in Planet Coaster 1, which I don't remember that song, but it was a nice eerie kind of thing. So anyways, getting to these restrooms, I wanted to make sure they kind of had like similar theming to the area, so we did go with like the dark wood textures and everything, and then we even have a little diagonal spot as well, which kind of gives it that nice corner piece. And this actually ended up turning out pretty cool. I didn't put like a ton of effort into this, but I was like, I'm gonna make this like a little entrance, like a little signage piece for the restrooms to give it that cool little detail, and just give it some of these wooden roofing. It kind of looks like a cozy, almost like a cozy haunted little cabin, which was I thought was kind of interesting. So yeah, it puts this on the corner. We're probably gonna add some like food options going down this road as well. We maybe even put a flat ride or so, maybe, to kind of fill in those spots. We'll have to wait and see where we kind of go from there, but I think we're going to basically just fill in the roads here and get some good food locations, and because that is one thing the notifications I get a lot of are guests are hungry. So I hope that we get some more food stands at some point, because I feel like we're very limited and I have to reuse the same ones over and over and over, which do kind of suck, but it is what it is. So but yeah, we just place in that with the those fencing there, and as you can see, we got a lot of good stuff done in this episode, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this series as much as I have. It's been really fun, but I can't wait to get into the bigger stuff. So that's gonna about do it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this, and of course, guys, I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you're excited to see next. So I will see you guys next time. So thanks so much for watching again, and goodbye.